So what is the most biblical way to look at what's happening right now in our nation with these mass deportations? I'm here at the border of El Paso, Texas and Juarez, Mexico, and I can't help but to address this. So I want to start off by saying this. Two things to understand, guys, that's very important. Number one, God is a God of love and compassion, but God is also a God of justice and order. When we start there, we'll have a better start on how to view this whole situation in a biblical way. So in the book of Leviticus chapter 19, the Lord talks to Moses and tells him to treat the stranger who sojourns with you as a native amongst you, and you shall love him as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. God is reminding not just Moses, but all the Israelites that, hey, listen, you were once in the land of Egypt, in captivity, and now you've become a stranger in a distant land. So don't forget to love on that stranger who is not a native or part of your tribe. So this is the heart and the attitude that we should have towards anyone who comes from another place. So now what can we say about obeying law and authorities? In the book of Romans chapter 13, we see the Apostle Paul writing, saying, let every person be subject to the governing authorities. For there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Remember, the book of Romans is inspired by God. It's not like the Apostle Paul just made this stuff out of his mind. So this message wasn't just for his time or for the church at Rome or for the first century Christians, but even today we are to be subject to governing authorities. We're not called to rebel against the law. We're not called to break the law. I believe that with the right systems in place in America and also in other countries, it would become easier for people who want to flee persecution, people who want to flee the gang violence and war, to be able to come into another country and start a new life. A lot of people leave their countries because it's horrible where they're at. There's food shortages. There's extreme levels of gang violence running rampant in their land. Murderers, rapists, extortioners. Who wants to live in a place like that? So I can understand why somebody would want to leave. This is why leadership in every country is so important, because if the country was better, then more people wouldn't have a reason to want to leave their countries. I mean, do you hear about Japanese people leaving? Do you hear about people from Switzerland, Singapore, Finland leaving their countries? You don't. Because they're doing good for the most part. There's job opportunities, and even in some of these countries, there's free healthcare. Crime rates are low.